Today I'm styling an ice cream sundae. It is going to be absolutely epic. I want to show you guys how to remake this classic into a beautiful food photo. I'm gonna start things off with our bowl. So you wanna make sure and put your bowl in the freezer ahead of time so it's nice and cool and chilled. A warm bowl is the enemy of a beautiful ice cream sundae because your ice cream will melt faster. I'm gonna show you how to make this bowl even more epic and fantastic with the use of some rainbow sprinkles and some chocolate syrup. So, I'm gonna start off with this chocolate syrup. Everything needs to be super cold. So I've had this chocolate syrup chilling in the fridge, I mean honestly overnight. So you want it to be really cold so that way it's gonna handle better, it's gonna be cold for the ice cream, and it's gonna hold up to our sprinkles that we're gonna sprinkle all around the edge. So I'm gonna pour this chocolate syrup onto a plate. Look at that beautiful syrupy goodness. Oh, I'm a sucker for chocolate syrup. Okay, so we have our syrup, our cold bowl, and I'm gonna dip the edges of the bowl into the cold syrup. So we're just gonna dip the edge in. And you can see how the syrup is sticking to that, and it looks awesome. So we're just gonna spin this around and just dip that edge in. Okay, so we've got our bowl all syruped up, and I'm gonna put this down. I'm gonna try not and get any more smudges around because whatever you leave on there will freeze that way, and so you want it to be kind of just the syrup on the edges. Beautiful. Now, sprinkle time. I love sprinkles. So I'm just gonna sprinkle these sprinkles, see what I did there, on the rim of the bowl. They're gonna go everywhere. That's totally fine. Don't even worry about it. You just keep on sprinkling your sprinkles. And you kind of want to be generous because some may fall off in transit to the freezer. You want to make that as sprinkly as possible because that's going to look really cool. Get a solid sprinkle layer. Voila, there you are. Don't worry about the sprinkles in the middle of the bowl. We'll get those later, and I'm gonna fly this out to the freezer and we'll get our ice cream scoops ready. All right, now it is time for us to style up our beautiful ice cream scoops. I'm gonna drop a little science on you. Ice cream melts quickly. Fun fact, full fat, high quality ice cream actually melts even faster. But if you purchase light ice cream, it has more air in it because there's less fat. So actually the lighter ice cream does better on camera. So I am styling with light ice cream. I have chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry for that play on color. And I'm gonna show you my tried and true method to get the beautiful scoop and keep it cold. So I have my handy dandy ice cream scoop. You want one with a release on it so you can get a really pretty arc around the bottom of the ice cream, like a nice ruffle. So I'm gonna start things off actually with strawberry so we can see this. Now what I'm gonna do is use my hand to kind of tap it lightly inside the scoop and then press it down like this. I'm gonna release it. Okay, now that I have this scoop, I'm actually going to transfer it over to a plate, and I'm gonna do the exact same thing with the chocolate and with the vanilla. Ugh, okay, yeah, got this, not hard at all. There you go, perfect. So that one looks gorgeous. Final scoop, chocolate. Good gracious alive. Okay, gonna push this down. This one is getting a little bit like big on the edges, but that's okay because after we release it, I'll probably trim a little bit off. So again, same deal. Just gonna move that off. And I'll probably create another layer of scoops so we have extra ice cream to put in the sundae. There are two ways to keep this cold. One, it's as simple as taking your paper plate and putting it in the freezer until you're ready to go. The ice cream will still melt a tad, so try and work as quickly as possible to get your shot set up before you bring it out of the freezer. The second way to do that, pro tip alert, this is how I like to keep my ice cream cold when I'm bringing it onto set for a food shoot. Dry ice can be tricky to deal with, and I wanna give you a couple tips of how to get this Cooler Rocks ready. One, when you're using dry ice, please wear gloves. I do not wanna be personally responsible for you burning your skin on your fingers off. Second, do not inhale. Don't breathe it in, because that is gnarly for your health and well-being. Do not try and melt this guy by putting it in your sink and running cold water over it because dry ice is much, much colder than regular ice and you will freeze out your plumbing, which is also not a good idea. The trick with this, you wanna have a little mini cooler, put a wire rack inside the dry ice, either below it or above it, and then I'm just gonna put my ice cream right in there with it and then shut the top. And then when I go to do the final beauty shot, I'll just keep it right here beside me, take the ice cream out and put it in the bowl. You don't wanna keep the dry ice in here too long or the ice cream will actually get really hard and look completely unnatural. And it's happened to everyone. If it happens to you, just take a straw, use your warm breath, blow through the straw on the ice cream and it'll look melted again. I'm gonna put the top on the cooler and set up my styling area. All right, it's time to put our scoops in. As you can see, these held up pretty well. We've stored them with the dry ice. We also did a batch in the freezer. Both are looking fantastic, but I've got to move really quickly because this ice cream is going to melt. So I'm gonna start out with my less pretty scoops on the bottom. So I'm gonna go chocolate, and I'm kind of stacking this ice cream to face towards camera. So I'm gonna put this scoop right here. Beautiful, and I'm just gonna layer the same thing as I did earlier. Gorgeous. Beautiful. And then our money strawberry is gonna go right on the top. Oh my word, beautiful. Okay, now I've got my scoops ready to go and I'm going to put on my toppings. We have these awesome rainbow sprinkles. I have some whipped topping and I have maraschino cherries, and we're gonna top it off with our chocolate syrup that's gonna look just like a fudge sauce. We used whipped topping, not the kind you squirt out of an aerosol can, because this whipped topping is gonna hold up really well to the cherry and to create less of a sinking effect. And I'm just gonna put a generous dollop on top. Perfect, and maybe stack it up a little more because I want this to have a really pretty little peak on it. So like I've showed y'all before, we're just gonna use our spoon, move it around. That looks beautiful. And then on top of that, we're gonna do our sprinkles. And I'm actually gonna do double sprinkle, and then we're gonna put it again over the chocolate syrup. Look for a cherry that has a perky stem. It's got a nice even round shape. Should we do two? Let's do two, why not? This is an ice cream sundae, for goodness sake. This is a party in a bowl. I love it. Okay, and the final step is our chocolate syrup, which again, I've put in the fridge to keep it really nice and cold so that it's gonna look thick and it's gonna hold beautifully with our ice cream. And I'm just gonna pour it from high and just kind of get it drizzling. Beautiful. And that looks amazing. And you can see I accidentally covered up one of our cherries, and I wanna keep those as a topper, so I'm gonna put that right there. And as you can see, we put this ice cream sundae in a very white and bright area. You know, I'm next to a source of natural light with the window. We're on white marble. So the rainbow sprinkles are really our nice pop of color along with the cherries. So I'm just gonna put some more on top, which looks fantastic, and then sprinkle a little around the surface, kind of just to make it look like we're having a party over here. We're using lots of sprinkles because why not? So I can do several things with this shot. You know, I could do an overhead where you see the full scope of all the pretty ice cream scoops, you see the cherries from on top, or you could do a side angle where you're really catching in the drizzles on the side of the ice cream. You could even do another drizzle shot. You could take that cold chocolate syrup and get an action shot of you pouring it on top of the ice cream. This looks great, and now I'm ready to take the photo.